2025 gave us some of the most emotional, daring, and unforgettable gay films we've seen in years. From intense romances to quiet heartbreaks, award winners, festival favorites, and films everyone is talking about, this list has you covered. Let's get into it. Let's talk about Denmark's Sauna turns the heat up as Johan, a sauna attendant, falls for William, a trans man taking time out from university. Director Matthias Brew minds class and gender politics while serving sun-bleached visuals and tender chemistry that broke ground at Sundance earlier this year. Sauna is a quiet, hypnotic queer drama that turns heat, silence, and proximity into something dangerously intimate. Set largely within the steamy, enclosed world of a public sauna, the film follows two men whose lives briefly overlap, strangers bound by routine, loneliness, and an unspoken pull neither of them fully understands. What begins as casual observation slowly deepens into glances that linger too long, conversations that feel heavier than they should, and emotions that surface when defenses melt away. The film thrives on atmosphere rather than exposition, using bodies, breath, and stillness to explore desire, vulnerability, and the ache of connection in anonymous spaces. Sauna isn't loud or explicit, it's restrained, sensual, and emotionally charged, asking what intimacy looks like when words fail. If you're drawn to queer cinema that's moody, minimalist, and quietly devastating, Sauna is a film that stays with you long after the steam clears. Next up is On Swift Horses, which tells parallel stories of queer desire in post-war America. Elordi plays Julius, a Korean War veteran who falls for his casino coworker Henry, Diego Calva. Meanwhile, his sister-in-law Muriel, Daisy Edgar Jones, begins her own secret romance with a woman, Sandra, Sasha Calla. Based on Shannon Pufall's 2019 novel, the film is now streaming on Netflix and HBO Max. The film follows Muriel, a newly married woman trying to build a stable life, and her brother-in-law Julius, a restless drifter drawn to gambling, danger, and men he is not allowed to love openly. As their paths diverge, the story explores forbidden longing, secret identities, and the quiet rebellion of choosing yourself in a world that demands conformity. With sun-bleached visuals, aching performances, and an undercurrent of tension that never lets up, On Swift Horses is less about grand romance and more about the cost of hiding who you are. It's intimate, seductive, and deeply melancholic, a film that lingers like a memory you can't quite let go of. Plainclothes marks Carmen Emmy's directorial debut, and it's a strong one. Tom Blythe plays Lucas, an undercover police officer in 1997 Syracuse assigned to entrap gay men. When he meets Andrew, played by Russell Tovey, everything changes. The film premiered at Sundance and holds an 85% critics score on Rotten Tomatoes. It is available to rent or stream on Amazon Video, Apple TV, and Fandango at home. What makes Plainclothes so gripping isn't just the danger, it's the quiet horror of living a double life where every glance could expose you. The film explores shame, power, and internalized fear with aching restraint, building tension through stolen moments and impossible choices. It's intimate, unsettling, and deeply human, a reminder of how easily systems can turn survival into betrayal and love into a risk you're not sure you can afford to take. Jimpa stars John Lithgow as an aging gay man living in Amsterdam. His daughter Hannah, Olivia Colman, and her non-binary teenager Frances Odd Mason Hyde visit, and Frances expresses a desire to stay with their grandfather for a year. Director Sophie Hyde drew on her own experiences growing up in a queer family. As past and present begin to overlap, the story gently explores grief, chosen family, and the courage it takes to live truthfully, even later in life. What makes Jimpa so moving is its softness, the way it finds meaning in small conversations, shared silences, and the realization that understanding doesn't always come from people your own age. It's warm, reflective, and quietly affirming, reminding us that queer stories aren't just about romance. They're about legacy, connection, and being seen by the people who matter most. The film is set for a United States theatrical release in February 2026 through Kino Lorber. Andrew Ahn, the director behind Fire Island, returns with The Wedding Banquet, a remake of Ang Lee's 1993 classic. Bowen Yang, Han Gi-chan, Kelly Marie Tran, and Lily Gladstone star in this comedy about a green card marriage between a gay man and his lesbian friend. When the groom's grandmother arrives to throw an extravagant Korean wedding banquet, plans go sideways. The film sits at 88% on Rotten Tomatoes and is streaming on Paramount+. This 2025 version balances humor with sincerity, capturing the universal struggle between honoring where you come from and being honest about who you are. With lively performances, sharp writing, and moments that swing from laugh-out-loud funny to genuinely moving, The Wedding Banquet reminds us that love doesn't always follow tradition. Sometimes it rewrites it entirely. Lilies Not for Me is a hauntingly beautiful queer period drama that shines a light on love that history tried to erase. Set in the early 20th century, the film follows a young man confined to a medical institution, where being gay is treated not as an identity, but as an illness to be cured. Within this cold, controlled world, he forms a fragile connection with a compassionate nurse, a bond built on trust, shared silence, and forbidden truth. As the story unfolds, the film exposes the cruelty of so-called conversion practices while centering tenderness, resilience, and the human need to be understood. With poetic visuals, restrained performances, and an aching sense of injustice, is both devastating and quietly hopeful. It's a reminder that queer love has always existed even when it was forced to bloom in the shadows. The film is streaming on Amazon Prime Video. A Night Like This is a tender, emotionally charged queer drama that unfolds over the course of a single, unforgettable evening. The film follows two men from very different worlds who meet by chance and decide to spend the night wandering through the city, talking, drinking, and slowly letting their guards down. What begins as casual companionship turns into something deeper as secrets surface, fears are confessed, and the weight of unspoken loneliness comes into focus. The magic of the film lies in its simplicity, the conversations that linger, the silences that feel heavy, and the sense that this brief connection might change everything. Intimate, honest, and beautifully acted. A Night Like This captures that rare moment when two strangers find exactly what they didn't know they were looking for, even if only for one night. Pillion is not your typical love story. Harry Melling plays Colin, a shy parking attendant who meets Ray, Alexander Skarsgård, an enigmatic biker. What follows is a year-long dom-sub relationship that is tender, funny, and surprisingly moving. Director Harry Leighton adapted Adam Mars Jones's novel Box Hill for his feature debut, winning the Best Screenplay prize in the Un Certain Regard section at Cannes. Melling spent time with the Gay Bikers Motorcycle Club to prepare for the role. The film is distributed by A24 and released in cinemas in the United Kingdom in late November, with a United States release to follow. The film doesn't rush to explain or soften its characters, instead it lets tension build in glances, silences, and moments of surrender. Pillion is gritty, provocative, and deeply psychological, asking what it really means to give yourself to someone and what it costs to take that power back. It's not a comfortable watch, but it's a compelling one, offering a queer love story that's bold, unsettling, and impossible to ignore. Twinless arrived at the 2025 Sundance Film Festival and promptly won the Audience Award. Dylan O'Brien stars, alongside writer and director James Sweeney, in this psychological black comedy about two men who meet in a grief support group for people who have lost their twin. What begins as an unlikely friendship takes unexpected turns. O'Brien delivers dual performances that critics have called career best work. The film holds a 97% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. You can rent or buy it on Amazon Video, Apple TV, and Fandango at home. The History of Sound is a quiet, deeply moving queer love story about memory, music, and the way certain connections echo long after they are gone. Set in the early 20th century, The film follows two young men who meet through a shared love of folk songs and set off on a journey to record disappearing voices and melodies across rural America. As they travel, their artistic partnership slowly transforms into an intimate bond, tender, restrained, and shaped by the limits of the world they are living in. What makes the film so powerful is its subtlety, the unspoken longing, the shared harmonies, the moments where music becomes the only language they are allowed to use. With lush cinematography and emotionally precise performances, the history of sound captures the ache of loving someone in a time that offers no safe place to keep that love. It's poetic, melancholic, and unforgettable, a film that stays with you like a song you can't stop humming. Those were the top 10 gay movies of 2025. If you enjoyed this list, hit like, subscribe, and keep exploring LGBTQ+ cinema with me, and check out my other videos on the best queer movies and series to watch right now. I will see you in the next video.